Okay, I think we can already start, and hopefully more people are coming while we are starting. So good afternoon, good morning, everyone. Depends on where you are in the world. We are happy to be able to see you again today in this workshop 4. And I think I can invite Darren. Maybe Darren, you want to say some words to our participants today?
Yes, thank you, Katika. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Yes, I believe so. Yeah.
Great.
Hello, everyone. So we are looking into our 4th session of this webinar. So thank you all the team from Sustainable Island Mauritius Project, Tourism Authority, CSCP, Blue Contact, and a special thanks also to our speakers of today, who have agreed to share with us a little bit of what they are doing in terms of sustainability, but also in terms of reporting on what they have been doing at the enterprise level. I think that there are some good news for Mauritius. So we are looking into the reopening of our borders as from the 15th of July. This will be done, of course, in a progressive manner because we unfortunately are still receiving some cases. So it is about us at the level of government also getting all the elements in order so that we can open it with the required protocol that we are still working on and which is going to soon be finalized. So this is a very good news because it allows us some time for operators as well to start marketing with our tour operators from outside and then communicating with them on what we are going to do in a progressive manner. What we have been doing so far, ladies and gentlemen, is about preparing ourselves for that opening. It was long due. I know it has been quite a long time since March of last year, but now we are there and it is up to us now to be fully prepared. And we try to get the maximum of tourists getting in within these 12 months. We have a kind of budget of 650,000 tourists in 12 months time, which is achievable, but we need also to, on our side, get ourselves prepared and have all what we are learning all in order and then to apply them. So I wish you all a very good session. And of course, we are here for any intervention during the course of the webinar. Thanks, Katika.
Thank you, Darren. So without further ado, I will give the floor to Andreas and also to Nicole, I guess.
Great. Thanks so very much, Katika, for introduction and Darren. And it's good to see many of you again on this 4th session of today. So we have prepared for you, as Katika said, a very interesting, nice program. We have interesting guest speakers today. So we will do a short recap session right now. We have then a video because we realized it's sometimes good to look over the own plate to another destination. So we are looking at another destination, how they did work on their footprint. From there, we dive into the measurement and monitoring tools. So how to apply it on Mauritius. Luis will show you the new tool that we introduced to you today. Then we dive into an interactive session between hotels and tour operators, a coffee break. And then we are very happy to have the Mauritian Standard Bureau with us today to introduce you to a very interesting certification. Before I will dive a little bit into international certification, so you see the different approaches. And then we make the linkings between our program here, the Sustainable Island Mauritius program, and the certification scheme. And we have another very interesting interview presentation of Lena from Marriott International today about their internal program, question and answers, and the end. So you see there is a whole bouquet of flowers for you, and we are very much looking into it. If we go to the next slide, Luis, we have that already. I think we know what we are talking about. So if we go for the next one, you see our guest speakers today. So we're very happy to have Sandia Bogia with us, General Manager of Mauritius Standard Bureau, and Lena Bissonnaud, Training and Quality Executive of the Westin. So those were with us today, and we'll talk about very inspiring topics. And of course, the rest of the crew you already know, so I don't have to introduce us again on that scale. So let's see where we are on the Mofi journey. I think the best would be to really jump into the next slide so you see all the targets that we prepared for you. So here's our roadmap for what we prepared for you. Some of you might have joined today, but I see many of you joined nearly all of those events. So we started with the global trends. We started with the local challenges and global trends to really put you onto the stage to inspire you to think about the future, despite all the challenges that we have right now. And you heard Darren that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, which is great to see. And I hope the best for that development. So then we dived with you into the product diagnosis tool, not the product, the company diagnosis. And I'm very happy that I met many of you in the one-to-one coachings. And it was really touching me how you dived into that analysis of your whole company profile. So here we invited you to set your targets to get inspired where you can make a change as a company. So we really got into this eagle perspective, as I always say. And from there, we dived into the product level. And it was, again, very touching to see how you looked into your products, like how you looked into your excursions, how you looked into the touch points of your hotels. So very, very much indeed, thank you to you all to dive with us into that. And today we will go one step further. And this one step further is measuring progress, because once you have your vision about your company, once you see where you can make an impact, you have identified the impact categories out of the 11 impact categories that we introduced to you. You dived into your products and you really thought, wow, this product I can improve here and there. I can design this new product here, for example. We have more inspiration for you, how you can design new products, but it's also very important to now think about indicators, now think about ways to measure your progress. The Dutch people sometimes say meten is weten, to measure is to know. So only if you measure the things, you can really see where you're making progress. That's why I'm very happy to have the Mauritian Standard Bureau with us to showcase you the one certification scheme. And we dive with Marriott into the way they measure their impacts. And I think that's very inspiring to look at those both cases. So here we are today. And from there, we go into the future in communicating. But today, we talk the whole workshop about measuring progress. And once I have said that, I would like to look back at the last workshop, because one feedback that reached us through all of your comments was that it was very inspiring to have Shireen and Anya and Nicola with us to really talk about the parallel process of the work of this project with the artisans, with the handicraft sector. And many of you asked me in the coaching sessions and ask us what's continuing, how can we involve there? And so we invited again the team here to have Nicola giving us a short introduction. What is the next step? Because they have a very inspiring, good idea about the next step to involve you in that project. So at this point, I would like to hand over to Nicola to give you a short introduction. What's the next step in here? It's a personal invitation to many of you who would love to dive into working closer with your local handicraft artisan people on Mauritius. Because remember what we said about the impacts. If you work with local people, you will touch upon 5-6 impact categories immediately. So this is one of the big leverage that you have with working with this team. Nicola, you have the floor to speak about the next step.